Next Level Neo sent me this box, and today we're gonna open it. Next Level Neo sent me a bunch of stuff to try out, so let's start with the Demon Eyes. Boys, I am super close to 10,000 subs. It would mean a lot if you just hit that subscribe button. These are some addressable Demon Eye LEDs, complete with the bracket. These look amazing.
Demon Eyes. Now these are RGBW as well, GRBW color order, inputs and outputs, 5-volt Demon Eyes, and we have a trigger wire here that goes to your low beam power. That way when the low beams are on, the Demon Eyes will turn off, but you will still get data out. So you can run them in line, that will be no problem. The data will go in, data come out, go to the next product.
We've got some rigid RGB and RGBW strips, also a thin version. This is really interesting. An even thinner version. This is crazy. Okay, this is really interesting. These are for infinity mirrors, just like that. Perfect if you're big into building infinity mirror lights.
So this is our UCS 2903s. Now these were designed specifically with infinity mirrors in mind.
Really thin addressable strips, individual pixels, love that. 12 to 5 volt converter, high output, 10 amps, that's pretty good. I think this is a controller, I'm gonna have to double check, and I have no idea what this is. I am going to have to double check with his video that he sent me.
Up next we have our signal boosters.
It's a signal booster. That's insane. I could have used this. I needed this for a project that I had that was kind of a nightmare. But I'll let Steven explain.
Good in the event that you have a flicker. Let's say you have a 4-piece build. You have 2 lights, like 2 headlights, and then you got fog lights or like mirror lights or something. You're getting a flicker. Tail lights. If you got like a 4-piece tail light, the 5mm LEDs, the outputs are not really strong. So if it's going over a long run, say from an outer light to the inner light on a trunk, you may see some flickering. And generally that is because of a loss of data. And so we developed these to eliminate that issue.
Let's get to testing. We need a power source, a Blue Ghost module, pretty worn out Blue Ghost module, and of course the LEDs that we're going to test. I kind of want to start with these. An important thing to check when testing all these is if it's 12 or 5 volts. These are 12. So let's go ahead and check. There we go. That is very, very bright. Looks amazing. Steven told me that this specific strip was designed for infinity mirror builds. You can see how all of the LEDs are way up here at the top, and you can keep your wires below the LEDs, and you can keep your wires right here below the LEDs. That's going to make it a lot easier to hide your wires, hide your connectors whenever they're sitting in that mirror. You don't want to ruin the illusion, but you can do something like that. Get your mirror way up close to those LEDs and get a really, really good reflection. Next up is the rigid 12-volt RGBWs. These look really good. A great thing about the rigid style is that these are going to be longer lasting than the flexible strip style that I'm used to, but they are a little bit harder to fit in some places. But Steven does have a fix for that. Look how thin these things are. Looks amazing. He's got one that's even thinner than that, but I don't know what voltage it is. I'm gonna have to double check on his site before I plug these in. Also got RGB versions instead of just RGBW. Looks really good. Just gonna sacrifice the pure white if you go with these. This is without a doubt the most insane product that he sent me. This is an addressable Demon Eye. Standard practice for years when using addressables was to just stick some of these LEDs inside of the projector if you were doing an addressable build and wanted everything to match. Personally, I wouldn't do it. I just didn't do Demon Eyes because I did a lot of addressable headlights and did not feel comfortable just putting these in the projector. Best case scenario, they just burn out. Worst case, they catch on fire or something. But this, an actual Demon Eye that's designed to be in the projector housing, but it's addressable. Who knows? I may do a Demon Eye build. Who knows? Maybe now I'll do a Demon Eye build. Now we got the flexible 5-volt strip. These look really good. The only negative for me is how small those pads are. Not a huge issue. Next up is the 5-volt rigid style. I really like these because of the pads, and look how thin that is. That is incredible. Next up, he sent 5-volt addressable pods. That would be perfect for something like this where you have a bunch of individual LEDs inside of a build. And we've got 2 different converters. This is a 12 to 5 volt converter pushing out 10 amps. That is amazing. And compared to what we used to use, this thing is really, really small. This is something I've never seen before. It is a small inline converter.
We have the micro inverters. Now these are 1.5 amps. It's good for like a halo.
So if you're using a set of strips that are 12 volt, but you have a halo that's 5 volt, you can use this on just the halo part, and it's plug and play. So I want to test it. I want to see if you can actually have 12 volt LEDs wired up, 12 volt right there. Then plug this in, which is a 12 volt to 5 volt converter, and plug in a 5 volt strip and see if everything works as it should. If everything works as it should, these should not explode or die or do any bad thing. First things first, I gotta wire up a connector. Okay, just wanted to show you. We've got 12 volts plugged into the Ghost module. This strip is working perfectly. So we'll plug in the converter. And oh my gosh, that's insane. That is crazy. You could keep everything internal to the headlight or taillight that you're working on. You don't have to run extra wires. You don't have to run extra Blue Ghost modules. Everything still works as it should. Overall, some really amazing products over at Next Level Neo, and I can't thank Steven enough for sending out all of these. The ones that stick out the most to me are the voltage booster and the addressable demon eyes. I feel like more and more cars are coming out with the 4-piece taillight, you know, the taillight on the body and the taillight on the trunk. So to have a voltage booster that you can put in between there to keep that data going is very useful. Plus a really solid addressable demon eye might actually change up what we do here. I haven't been offering any sort of demon eye builds in a really long time. It's the worst having like a Blue Ghost and a separate demon eye setup. So if you can run it all on one, that would be huge. You're gonna have Next Level Neo linked below. Go check everything out.